Hey folks, hope you guys are having a good Saturday, a joyful Saturday. Welcome back to the NewPub gaming stream. We're gonna play some Final Fantasy VI. While people are getting in here, I'm gonna, talk a little bit about this and that before I go too much further. New book up for pre-order. It's called Shadow and Smoke. And you can get it for $4.99. It is Moonsong Book 3. So if you haven't read the first two, they're over here. If you have not read the first two, here they are. City of Silver. If you're not on my mailing list, make sure you're on my mailing list, dvspress.com/list. And I'll probably give away some free copies of that this week, just for anybody who's not into the series yet. Here's number 2, Tyrant's Gallow. And number 3 is called Smoke and Shadow. I'm going to try to find the cover real quick. There it is. Here, I'll show it to you real fast. Interesting. It's showing the wrong monitor. Give me a second. I'll show it to you guys in a second here. It renumbered all my displays because I unplugged my monitor to do some stuff. Turn down the music a little bit here. All right, so here's what the cover looks like. Boom, there's the cover for Moonsong number 3. So we got number 1, number 2, number 3, going with the same kind of design philosophy there. So people really liked these first two. It took me longer than I expected to get out number 3 because I had a lot of things that interrupted my work last year. I meant to do it like about this time last year, but I basically had a bunch of things go wrong. I had my had my mother-in-law die about this time last year. And that was a huge disruption. And then we've had further disruptions with all kinds of other things. And we're going to have more disruptions this year, too, because I'll probably be moving to a different state to kind of escape I'm in like the best local position in California, but the tyranny of the state is eventually just overwhelming. So this completes the trilogy. This is what I call the first trilogy. So 1, 2, Shadow and Smoke will be the third trilogy, or the third book in this little trilogy. And then there's more stuff for the same characters, so I'll have a second trilogy that's a little more like an Odyssey kind of thing, and then probably one more set of 3 books that deals with a different set of events. So a lot of that stuff is already written. In this case, book 3 here I wrote years ago, but it wasn't good. So I had to rewrite a very large amount of it, and it was probably the most annoying and difficult revision that I've done in my writing career. And there's a lot of reasons for that being disrupted while I'm in the middle of it, having to put it to the side, excuse me, and do other things, having to come back and rethink what I was doing. But also sometimes you come into a bad manuscript with this idea of a need to keep as much work as you've done, because then it's like you've wasted your work. It's the sunk cost fallacy. So you're like, well, I can't just delete all this. I can't just rewrite all this because that's more work, right? But it turns out it's actually more work to very carefully edit and preserve things that were poorly written but maybe had good ideas behind them. So like the core of what I wrote, I felt like was very good. And what was less good really was the execution of what I was doing. If I had just approached this like, I'm going to take this story and I'm going to write a new book with the same story, it probably would have gone much more quickly and the end result would have been just as good. But anyway, you struggle with those things as an artist. You don't want to throw away the things that you were passionate about. This was an early book in my career, so it actually, that original draft was pretty bad. So I had to do a lot of work in order to clean it up, but I'm pretty proud of this final product. I think it's really good. It'll close out the trilogy. It's got a lot of fun stuff in it, a lot of great action, and I think it's much better executed as far as the plot goes and the characters go, and where we arrive with everyone at the conclusion of this original trilogy here. So anyway, you can check that out. I did link it in chat. I can link it one more time. That'll be out on February 18th, so not this Friday, but next Friday. I'm cleaning up the final files. I will have the paperback released a little bit before that, and I will send out that notification on social media and, of course, on my mailing list. So you can get the paperback if you want. You get the hard copy. I do like hard copies quite a bit, so please do check that out. It's called Shadow and Smoke. That is the new book, and I'm pretty excited to deliver it to all of you guys. Now, first topic I want to talk about before we get into the gaming. Boys Don't Cry. That's the title of this little talk here. Boys Don't Cry. You probably heard this. There's a movie called Boys Don't Cry. Not a bad movie either. So here's the thing. You may have seen this with like some internet discussions here and there. Some women will say, why don't men cry? Men should cry more. And then that same woman will like tweet out later what a turnoff it is when a man cries in front of her. Or this man cried and it was a huge turnoff and it it made me lose all respect for him. Or you'll have people ridiculing people who are crying under intense circumstances, specifically men, never women. Women basically are expected to cry, and it's permissible to cry, but it's not permissible for men. And so the complaint is, well, women say they want men, excuse me, women say they want men to cry, and yet every time a man cries, they complain about it. So this is one of those things where words and actions don't line up, and you should not try to adjust the world to your expectations, but rather adjust your expectations to the world. So those are those two parts. You really need to judge people by their actions, not by just what they say. So if a woman says, I want men to cry, and you take that at face value and you cry and she loses all respect for you, you probably should have seen that coming, right? You judge by the actions. The reality is that if you're crying as a man, in fact, I can't think of any circumstance where it is, I'm going to just give you a Machiavellian perspective. I can't think of any circumstance where it's advantageous for a man to cry. I can't think of anyone. I can't think of any circumstance where a man gains by crying. I can think of many circumstances where he loses. The best circumstance would be that he's neutral. So what is if a woman says, I want a man who cries, why don't men cry enough? What they're really asking for is intimacy. And when you understand that, then you know how to actually deal with that. So what women want is they want intimacy with their partner. Men want it too, but women want it maybe in a different way and at different times than men do. And they'll state it in different ways than men will, right? So the idea of a man crying is you want to be privy to the man's inner thoughts and emotions. That is, you want to know him on a deep level. You don't actually want him to cry. So what women actually want is for men to accurately communicate their emotions. And there's really nothing wrong with that. And that's really what men should focus on doing. Because as soon as you cry, that's a signal to other men and to women, regardless of whether it's a romantic situation or just any social situation. That is a signal when you cry that you don't have emotional mastery. So it's very desirable for a man to have mastery over his emotions and mastery over himself. Thus, being able to restrict oneself and not cry when you are feeling emotional is a very desirable trait, and it's something that is very desirable to be cultivated in a man. Okay? So if you are sad, if you are heartbroken, what the woman would really want you to communicate is she'd really want you to say, I'm heartbroken and I'm sad and I have the blues, I don't feel good, or I don't like this. So then she's privy to your emotional needs and your emotional feelings and feels like she's on your team and is in your inner circle. That's the intimacy that women crave. But what she's not seeing is any kind of emotional weakness. Emotional weakness is a very big turnoff to a woman. Weakness in general is. Seeing a man who is weak-willed, not assertive, that's usually a turnoff to women. And just in general, everybody's different. Everybody's an individual. So when I'm talking in general things, obviously there's going to be exceptions. There's going to be different people that think differently from this. But it's almost like a trope. It's a meme. It's to have the feminist declare that you want men to cry, and then she dates the musclehead who never cries. Well, she's getting what she actually wants. She's stating one thing. And yeah, maybe society would be better if men were more free to cry or something like that. But sorry. That's the second part. Adjust your expectations to reality. Do not try to change reality to conform to your expectations. It's not going to go well. So we live in a reality. We live in a society where crying for men is considered a significant sign of weakness, and it's never advantageous to do it. So that means, as a man, you should probably not do it. You should restrict it as much as possible. If you're going to cry, you should cry in private and do whatever you can to have total mastery over your emotions at all times. Sorry, that's real. So if you're thinking, wow, I'm going to show my heart and I'm going to cry or something, it's probably a bad idea. It makes me think of this Kyle Rittenhouse trial where they put him on the stand and he broke down and cried. So what was the thing here? You had two reactions. One was, why did they coach him to cry? That's manipulative. He's such a weak piece of crap. I can't wait to see him get raped in prison. That was the other one, right? Now, he was found innocent of a jury of his peers. And of course, it was a traumatic situation, almost being murdered by 3 people and then having to kill those people in order to preserve his own life, as decided by the jury. So it's natural and appropriate that you would have an emotional response to it. But was it advantageous for him to cry? And the answer is no. It probably hurt him more than it helped him to cry. Certainly in the court of public appeals or a court of public opinion, it probably hurt him. So it's almost never advantageous to actually cry as a man. I can't think of any situation where you're really going to get something positive out of it from a Machiavellian situation. So you have people like, I wish, if I had a son, I would raise him to be sensitive and emotional and to cry and know that it's okay to cry. You'd probably be doing your son a disservice if you taught him that it was okay to cry. Yeah, our society thinks it's okay for girls to cry. It doesn't think it's okay for boys to cry. Probably the best thing to do for a son is to help him cultivate enough control over his emotions that they don't affect his body in a way that makes him cry. That's going to be more advantageous for him in life than teaching him it's okay to cry. It's okay to have emotions. It's different to say it's okay to have emotions or to feel things versus it's okay to break down and lose control of your body because of you being overwhelmed by emotions, right? The only time I think it's probably, a man should feel safe crying is like in private with his spouse or something like that. Even if you read older books, you'll notice that the male characters virtually never cry. I remember it was something in Conan the Barbarian. You have Subutai crying in the movie, the John Milius movie. And why are you crying? Because Conan can't cry. Conan is so stoic. He is so he has such mastery over himself that he will not cry even when it's like a horrible tragedy and he's like in the worst pain that he can conceive of emotionally. So Subutai cries for him as like a stand-in to show that Conan still has these emotions, but because he's such a tough guy, he still won't cry. Even in something like The Hobbit, the only time that you really have Bilbo cry is after Thorin dies. So he's had this reconciliation with Thorin, this person he's spent a year adventuring with, gone through all kinds of trouble, near death, saved him from death, been saved from death himself. And Thorin is on his deathbed. They have forgiveness and reconciliation between them. And Bilbo goes away and weeps. But he goes away and weeps. He doesn't just like break down and weep in front of everybody. And everybody's like, it's so good that you're showing emotions. Like even then, the emotion for a male character tends to be far removed from that. So to draw a connection to writing, if you're writing male characters, how male characters display emotion is important. And it's important for how you want the reader to interact with that character, particularly if you're writing something that's romantic. Not necessarily romance as a genre, but if you have a male character that maybe you have a female protagonist who's interested in, especially, that male character needs to show those things that I'm talking about. Mastery over self and emotion, discipline, is a big one. Now, he can carefully communicate emotion, and you could have a scene where the female character prods him or gets him to basically feel comfortable enough to communicate his emotions appropriately. And that's the turn on, is for him to confide in the woman and to bring her into his into an emotionally intimate state with him, but not to break down and weep. So if you have read any things like this, you'll notice that writers who have a good mastery of this, the attractive male characters never cry. They never cry because that's what's desirable. So that reflects a basic fundamental kind of truth about our human natures. We expect different things from men and women. That's just how it is. That's the world we live in. So if you're a male, you can complain about the fact that women are turned off by men crying, and they say that they want men crying. Judge it by the actions. You know that they don't really want men who cry. What they want is men who are capable of judiciously and clearly communicating their emotions to a partner that they share an intimate connection with, not someone who loses mastery over himself and cries. That's reality. Obviously we don't expect like 5-year-olds to have total mastery and to never cry. But one of the things you do when you raise kids is use your words. You do this to 2-year-olds. 2-year-olds throw a fit, they cry. Use your words. Tell me what you want rather than throwing a fit. And over time, they learn to not have emotions and therefore physical things happening. To have emotions, therefore communication of the emotions to resolve the conflicted emotions. It's much healthier to do it that way. And that's really the way that I approach raising my kids. If they cry or throw a fit, I don't give them what they want. In fact, I'll just take a breath, calm yourself down, tell me what you're feeling. I feel this. How do you think we can resolve that? That's really the kind of discipline that you want to cultivate, especially in boys. We give women a pass for it. That's the society we live in. We don't give men a pass for it. It's virtually never advantageous to cry as a man. So that's my little spiel on that. Take it how you will. Okay? Yeah. Jesus cried. Jesus wept on the cross, too. But we don't live in a time and a place where people think that that's okay. In very specific circumstances, you'll give a pass to a man for crying, but it's never a thing where you're like, well, it's good that he cried. People like him better for crying. Nothing wrong with emotions, but hey, we live in a society that views things differently. Our culture does not view male crying as anything other than bad. That's how it is. All right. Thanks, guys. Let's go ahead and play some games. Hope you guys are having a good day. Let's hop back into it. I don't remember where I was at in Final Fantasy VI. This is a problem with only playing once a week. You should be playing more often, but things have been so busy getting this book squared away. In fact, there's the book. Let's load up our game here. Might have to adjust. I have to adjust the frame a little bit. There you go. All right. Yeah, did we already clear out this? I think we might need to reset. Because I think I saved it the normal way. because we already got through that boss. Restart. All right. All right. Nope. I thought we got through this, but I guess not. Have you heard of Mark Laidlaw's Gorlin? I haven't. No. He has audiobooks of them. Nice. Yeah. I should have more books coming out this year too. I have a bunch of books I've written, and I just haven't been able to get them out. It's just too much. Thank you for the pre-order, Genkin Machina. Where is it? Not dried meat. Revivify. Yeah, I guess we missed some amount of something here. Yeah, I already did this last time. Hold on. Maybe I did not save the correct state. I loaded it up and it wasn't right, so I guess we'll have to do this again. That's okay. This guy's not that bad, though. Kaboom! Haste! Do you think you'll stay on the West Coast or move into flyover country? I'll probably move to Houston because that's where my family is. Whoa! Something's happening! Suplex! Missing there. It's haste. There we go, haste. The drill will hit. The drill always hits. Did you mod your beta? Yes, I did. I did it recently. It's awesome, especially for button mashing games. Oh yeah, it's great. I also have like some adapters that make it easier to do certain button mashes as well. You can use it with Adrenaline. You always could have used the DualShock 3, I think, even without modding. So, but yeah, I have that modded that way. You can actually like set up the Vita to have a full dock and everything, like a Nintendo Switch, which is pretty cool when you think about it. There we go. What's really good about modding the Vita is you can put like a 500 gig SD card in the game slot with an adapter and use that for memory. And you can hot swap it with the game too. It works great. So you can download all your games or like load all your PS1 collection on there. It's great. Golden Visenfirth. Golden Visenfirth. About a bard who has a gargoyle's curse. Cool. He has a stone finger, and when he does something bad, more of him turns to stone. Doing good things reverses it. I like that. That's a good setup. Very fairy tale-esque, but good. You mentioned that where you live in California is full of normal people. Did that change? Well, it's more just that, like, you know, we were in the news recently, I guess, because of, like, mass protests at school. So, you know, the locality is good, but just like, for instance, employment, like my wife is a speech therapist, and basically she won't be able to work in the state of California unless she gets a vaccine, which she doesn't need because we already had the disease. I'm not going to vaccinate my children with experimental drugs. I'm not injecting my children with experimental drugs, and I'm not injecting myself or my family with experimental drugs for the condition that I'm allowed to work. Like, that's ridiculous. Started following your advice on retro gaming. Got some emulators recently. We'll soon have a ton of older games to play. Yeah, you just think about like the gigantic catalog of stuff that you have. We already did this last time, so forgive me. You know, when you think about it, like, you know, for instance, like, oh man, am I going to play a Far Cry? What are they on now? Far Cry 6? Am I going to play Far Cry 6? Well, you could play Far Cry 2 or 3 if you haven't played those. They're the same game, basically. They're like retro now. You know? You know, there's so much back catalog of stuff to play. I should come up with like a list of like my favorite retro games that you could play right now legally, because, like, you know, emulators are somewhat of a. I mean, I'm playing this on an emulator, but I do own the game, so I don't feel bad about playing it on an emulator. But there's a lot of retro games that are like available on Steam to play. You can play Knights of the Old Republic on Steam or Android. You can play Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff on it. You know, there's tons of retro games that you can play for really cheap that are really good, and will give you a ton of entertainment, including a game like this. You know, if what you want is like great aesthetics and a fun story and good gameplay, like Final Fantasy VI is great. You know, just because it's old doesn't mean it's not worth your time. We're kind of trained in the video game sphere to view everything that's new as good. Like, if it's new, it's better. And therefore, like, the focus is always on something new, and that's kind of how the industry works. It's like the movie industry. They want you to watch the new thing because they just made the new thing and they need to make money on it. But that doesn't mean the old thing is not worth playing. It absolutely is. Pikmin's really fun. Far Cry 2 actually was more in-depth physics destruction systems wise than the new ones. I have it somewhere. It came with my video card, my GTX 260 video card, back in 2008, 2007 or something. So it's cool. They're on Far Cry 6. Wow. Yeah, the Metal Slug games are great. I have all of them. You can get a Metal Slug collection for PlayStation. It's actually a PS2 port, and it looks great. It looks great on modern displays because they scale it up. It has that SD look. Love the Metal Slug games. And there's so many good games. Yeah, the California Coof businesses, ruined his wife's business. Yeah, like we can't even, my wife may not even be able to work in her profession. Like right now she works for a school district and, they're fighting it, but, you can only do that for so long. There we go. All right. We didn't lose that much time. All right. Miranda. Look at this guy. He's running around really fast. Let's talk to him. I used to be a thief, but one day I uncovered a secret that's so awesome I had to run and hide. A knight came through here recently. He was amazing, but his heart was full of chaos. When he can cope with this pain, he'll be the mightiest warrior alive. It's going to be our samurai friend. Let's stay at the end. Oh, his wife's a hairdresser. Yeah, all that's been completely wrecked. It's a good thing that I don't need haircuts. Might need hair transplants here. I'm getting a big forehead, but that's how it is. My old accomplice used to mumble this in his sleep, to the right of the treasure chest. Well, thanks for giving me that tip. Have you heard of the revolutionary UCLA professor with the schizo 800-page manifesto? Oh yes, I read some of it. It was quite hilarious. But he got a doctorate from Princeton, so this should kind of wake people up to the idea that just because even these Ivy League degrees don't really mean anything. Anyone could get them. A spell ago, some oddball came strolling through here, kept calling people that. A crystal shield. Crystal helm. Oath veil. Dark gear. Ooh, I like the look of that. Tau robe. Crystal mail. And get more crystal mail. Let's get the dark gear. And we'll get a tau robe. Let's get a tau robe. We got plenty of gold. Have you bought anything on the Epic Games Store? I have a couple things on the Epic Games Store. The Epic Games Store is giving away a ton of free games, so I have a bunch of free games on it. I haven't played very many. I wouldn't say I'm loyal to Steam. It's just a place to buy stuff. The Velt. A gravity rod. Swordbreaker. Falchion. Get the Falchion. We'll get one. And we'll get a Swordbreaker, why not? Curtis Yarvin and his idea of rolling tanks into Harvard Yard, completely tearing down the Ivy League institutions. Well, I mean, this is the solution to the student debt crisis: is you seize all the university endowments to pay down student debt because they're responsible for creating it. So you seize their endowments, and then they're pretty much crippled as far as a lot of that, a lot of stuff that they do. There we go. So yeah, seize the endowments. Well, look at all the flowers. Look, my boyfriend in Mobley sent me all these flowers. They're all handmade of silk, and there are letters he has written to me. But wasn't Mobley's demolished by Kefka? Somebody else must have written these. My beloved Lola, we're still busy trying to rebuild this town. If all goes well, I'll be able to come home to you soon. This handwriting, it looks a lot like Hagar's, but where is he mailing them from? Could you please attach this reply to a carrier pigeon? Do this favor for Lola. Yes, thank you. Gotta find a carrier pigeon. Well, I mean, the bad ideas flow from them, but it's also, you know, the debt is an excuse to get rid of them as well. Used to be a thief. But I got hurt and had to turn back after the first treasure room. Remedy, woo! Oops. Cary Grant cut his own hair with a trim comb. Slicked it down with Vaseline. He was a cheapskate who didn't want to pay a barber. I get it. I just don't cut my hair. That works too. Why do I keep walking in here? I'm dumb. Alright, it's this way. Where is it? It's over here somewhere. Zozo. So the pigeon went to Zozo. Oh, there's gonna be tons of guys I have to fight here, huh? There we go. going on here? Can't walk past this little area? Whoa, look at this Hades Gigas! Just like spin around with a chainsaw. Hades Gigas! We already did this puzzle. Already did this puzzle. One thing I really liked about the climb the stairs at the building with the cafe sign on it, and you could find a path leading to Mount Zozo. With this rust rid, you can open that door. Alright, we got rid of it. We got the rust rid. Okay. Alright, I guess we gotta go in that other building. Hades Gigas! And a harvester. Sorry. Where am I? Oh, there I am. This guy the same. Did you hear about the Democrat congressional candidate who wants Gina Carano jailed for seditious conspiracy? No, but I mean, good luck with that. I'm not surprised. You know, we knew that like eventually they'd be calling for the. I'm surprised Trump isn't jailed. I really have not. I was really surprising him to like. I was really expecting him to be indicted within this year. So that's like another. That's a prediction that didn't really happen. I was like, Trump will get prosecuted. Like he'll get indicted for something. But that didn't end up happening. Maybe he's just too slippery. And that's what I figured they would do, is try to jail Trump. Rust dissolved. think it's probably no accident that they chose the rainbow for their flag, which is a symbol that God would not destroy the earth with the flood. You have to co-opt that, which is good. Ice shield. Ice shield. We got Trump. We fire next time. You know, the thing that would make me leave California would not be anything economic, anything like, you know, forest fires, bad pollution, bad traffic. It's like, no, I just want to like work without having to inject experimental drugs. In the 1980s, Trump secretly worked with the FBI to help them catch mafia members. He's smart enough to stay squeaky clean. Yeah, I think he's definitely very clever in that regard. But I expected at least some attempt, like some local attempt to find something to try to nail him on. I mean, certainly they have used verbiage that they highly desire to imprison their enemies. Alright, more bears! The Ursus. The Ursus tries to steal, I guess. Wow, he stole 8,000 gold. And ran away. Well, that's nice. At least I got 3,000 of the gold back. Thunder Shield. Who else has a shield? Chad has a shield. There we go. Yeah, the Trump University one, but that's not against Trump. I'm talking like I thought they would criminally indict him. Like for something. Uppercut. Boras. need to check our magic, see how our magic is doing. Yeah, I think the tax records thing is like a good example. I think he leaked the tax records himself. You know, I think he leaked the tax records himself. Just to mess with them. That's probably it. All right. Oh yeah, that was gonna check the espers. All right, so we can do something else. Do carbuncle. Espers. Let's check Fenrir. Oh, we've got all those. Bismarck. And that'll happen quick, I guess. Learn every magic here. Madwin. Let's do him. Alright. I got all the Ifrit learned. We could do Phantom or Fenrir. Do Fenrir. These guys are gonna have so much magic when they're done. We got Shote, Unicorn, Shiva. Oh, and that has Osmos. That's pretty good. Seraphim. That's Cure and Regen. Do Shiva. Thoughts on Mouse getting a resurgence in popularity after that school banned it from its library? I have no thoughts about it. I think I have another book by that guy. I have to look at the shelf. Schools don't ban things, though. Like, that's not a ban. You don't get sent home for reading the book. There are books you will get sent home. You'll get expelled for reading Mein Kampf or something like that. That's an actual ban. Like, people are ridiculous when they talk about bans. I mean, it's silly. What is the, You know what? That's going to be a relic. That's it, huh? Gold hairpin. Halves MP consumed. That's pretty good. And we want relics. We want sprint shoes. There we go. Do you know that Isaac Asimov died from AIDS? I did. He says he got it from a blood transfusion. That's what he says. But if you know about his weird sex practices, I think it's very likely he got it from recreational activities. That's, you know, they said that, I mean, their story was like, well, we wanted to keep that secret because of exactly what I said. That people would think he got it from homosexual activity. But, you know, he was a sex pervert, so it's quite possible he got it from recreational activity. As were most sci-fi authors of the past. You know, Marion Zimmer Bradley was a child rapist and pedophile, so was her husband. You know, like the sci-fi writer community and the sci-fi fan community is very much full of like sex pests. I'm probably getting Stranger of Paradise. So are you getting Sifu, Horizon Forbidden West, Elden Ring, or Stranger of Paradise? I'm probably going to get Stranger of Paradise. I streamed the demo. The demo's wild and hilarious. I don't even know what to think about this game. It's so bizarre in terms of its presentation, but the gameplay's really fun. It's a really fun game. So I will probably get that one. Yeah, Asimov was notorious for like basically coming on to women and just not a good guy. They keep all that stuff gets suppressed because it's, you know, it's all interior stuff. That's what a lot of people think The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas is actually about. That it's actually about the fact that there was a massive pedophilia ring in sci-fi authors, in this, like the sci-fi authors of the time, and you know, some people chose not to engage in that, but they had to walk away. Basically, you know, you could live in this paradise where everybody was like your fan, but you know, you had to be okay with the fact that children were abused. And I don't know if that's what the story is really about, but certainly that was a thing. And people who've been abused as part of that, they have spoken up about it. So don't take my word for it. What does this rabbit do? Oh, he healed us. Okay. You're getting the physical edition or the digital edition? I prefer to get physical whenever physical is available, so probably that. I haven't pre-ordered it or anything. Maybe I should, I don't know. Getting these Airland sets. Hi, Sound Engraver. How you doing? Hope everything's going good for you too, and you're working on some good music. Let's use Magic Life. There we go. There we go. What did you hear about that with Asimov? I can't find any information about it. I don't know. Lots of people. I might have it bookmarked. I'll see if I can find it in a second here. Dear Lola, I am writing to beg for your forgiveness. I am guilty of perpetuating a terrible lie. I have only now realized the error of my ways. I hope I can correct a great wrong. Your boyfriend, who you thought was in Mobilis, passed away some time ago. I have been writing in his stead. We humans tend to allow the past to destroy our lives. I implore you not to let this happen. It is time to look forward, to rediscover love and embrace the beauty of life. You have so much life left to live, Hagar. Locked. Alright. Why do you think perversion and probably ideas like Bolshevism are so widespread among artists? I don't think they're widespread among artists. I think that artists who have them are promoted. I think that's backwards because... and I think artists get kind of pulled into that while they're in college and things like that. But I think it's mainly that, you know, it spreads in a college environment where you're separated from reality. And so when you're separated from reality, philosophies that are anti-reality seem to make sense. I'm going to see if I have this stuff. I'll Google it. Give me a second. So here's an older article about sci-fi fandom. But I mean, you could just Google stuff with Asimov, and you'll find stuff about him basically being. David Asimov. David Asimov of Living Oak Court, Bennett Ridge, Santa Rosa, the son of late science fiction writer Isaac Asimov, was sentenced March 28, 2001 to 6 months home detention with electronic monitoring and 3 years federal probation for possessing child pornography. There was no forfeiture of any Asimov's assets in this case, despite him owning a home in Santa Rosa. He had as many as 4,000 tapes and thousands of computer files of child pornography. This is his son. It doesn't mean he did it, necessarily. But he was notorious in the fandom for how he actually acted with women, that he was very creepy. So I think it's possible that he, may have gotten HIV from recreational activities. It's possible. I'm not accusing him of that. All right. But I think it's quite possible. If you buy one of the really expensive collector's editions of Horizon Forbidden West, you get a steelbook and a digital code, no disc. I'm really looking forward, actually, to Stranger of Paradise because it's just it feels like a game from 2008 in the best possible way I can mean that. Hagar, hey, you're alive. Hagar. I shall go with you. I shan't leave the world as it is. But how did you find me? Wait, tell me you didn't read my letters. Is it possible Disney will eventually try a live-action remake of Ice Age despite it not being a Disney animated movie? I don't know. That's a weird one. It's possible. I don't think it's likely. I think they'd milk a lot of other IPs before that one. They do live-action remake of whatever. They're merely a diversion of mine. Hagar, these flowers are gorgeous. Have you heard of the 1937 Mutation or Death science fiction convention speech? Yes, I have heard of this. I didn't know. I don't remember it being called that. Using sci-fi as communist propaganda. Yeah, the fandom was taken over. You can also check out, of course, J.D. Cowan's website. Let me find it because he has a bunch of articles on. He has a bunch of articles on this subject that I can't even begin to get into, but his are very thorough. So you can just look at his website. Basically, science fiction and fantasy, science fiction in particular, was taken over and made unsuccessful by certain people and fans within the genre that wanted it to be something different than entertaining stories. They wanted it to be communist propaganda or other things like that, and destroy the popularity of the genre, and destroyed the magazines. They took over a bunch of popular magazines and destroyed their readership because they wanted their little culture, their little fan culture, to be something different than what the readers did. This is an outrage. Thank you, Mike. What's up, my man? I haven't been on in a while. Hope all is well with you and the fam. It is. I hope your family's doing good too. We're okay. Right now, we're really, I guess planning at this point, seriously considering a move to Texas. And I got to figure out, I'll be able to do it, but taxes this year are going to completely wreck me. I'm gonna have to pay an extra $5,000, I think, this year in taxes, on top of what I already paid last year, top of withholdings. So that's gonna suck, but it's not the worst. The worst that we ever had was, I think, $11,000 or $14,000. So just like not enough being withheld, even remotely. That's how it is, but it's okay. So that sucks. So what happened to comics today? Basically, I'll tell you what happened to comics. Here's the short story of why comics suck. First of all, comics don't suck. American comics suck. American comics from the big two are in the monogenre called superheroes. Those suck. Comics in general do not suck. There are many independent comics. I'm gonna plug some right now. I got them right here on the shelf. Okay. My messy office. Let's get a couple out. I'm gonna plug some right here for you guys. There's European comics you can read. There's, there's so much other stuff you can read. That's great. That's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, okay. All right. Here's one from my friend Matt Krotz. Matt Krotz is actually both these. Kyrie. This takes place in like 2nd or 3rd century Roman Empire in North Africa. Really great adventure stories. I think he has a Wild Tales collection that just shipped. Do I have it here? Where is it? Oh no. Yeah, these are the Exiles Curse. Where's Wild Tales? I thought I had it up here. Maybe I was reading it and put it somewhere else. Don't know where I put it. All right. They just came out with another one called Wild Tales. I have it somewhere. Anyway. So yeah. Kyrie by Matt Krotz. It's great. He uses BCE. I'll forgive him that sin of not using AD. He's using CE instead of BCE. Deus Vult by John De La Rose and Jesse White. Back cover. Oh, who did this back cover? Jeff Lasley did the back cover. It's great. So this is a very fun story. Colors by Matt Krotz, actually. Matt did the colors in this, and they're great colors. I love the coloring he does because it's not that super oversaturated color. So these are great indie comics. There's tons of great European comics that are out. There's manga. I have a bunch of manga back there. If you want some manga recommendations, so comics don't suck. American comics suck. Why do they suck? Well, what happened in the 90s is the industry got taken over basically by people who thought they were auteurs and by fans, and they turned it into a niche endeavor instead of something popular. It used to be that every single title sold like 100,000 copies a month when Jim Shooter was in charge of Marvel. That all changed when they fired him, and basically very slowly ended up in this decline where most titles are lucky to sell 5,000. So you're selling less than 5% of what you sold in the 80s. And what happened was they kicked normies out of the hobby. They stopped distributing magazines to grocery stores and drugstores, which is where I used to get them. And started selling them in comic book shops that normies don't want to go in. Normies don't want to go in some smelly shop and with some guy who smells weird and have to look through a bunch of books. They say, I want to buy a Spider-Man book and have him I want to buy an Archie Comics book. Archie Comics is dumb. They don't want to go in there. It's a huge turnoff for a normal person to go into a comic book store. It really is. Most people find them disgusting and weird, and the people that are in them bizarre. So normies got kicked out of the industry, and then it became a hobby rather than just a form of art, and it destroyed the American industry. But foreign industries are still great. Manga is very popular in Japan. There's tons of great manga that you can buy. So I did not read Stand Still, Stay Silent. I didn't read that. I actually don't know what that is. Sorry. One of Tolkien's sons claims to have been molested by one of his father's Oxford friends. I've heard this. Didn't the same thing happen with American comics where superhero fans yeah, that's it. Yeah, they prioritize their own pet projects instead of things that people wanted to read, and it destroyed the industry. because you can't run things that way. And that's the way the Big Five runs their books too, by the way, guys. They promote their friends' books instead of, and they just kind of live on the fumes of basically people who are dead. You know, like, you know, they live on the fumes. If it were for Brandon Sanderson's like the only living Tor author. Him and maybe, I don't know, is Jim Butcher on tour? I don't remember. But, you know, Jim Butcher and Brandon Sanderson still sell really well and people like their stuff. But other than that, it's a field of nobodies who write woke fiction and get basically paid advances that never get made back up by their friends. So the publishing houses don't run a business to make money. And the result is, like, all the genres are decreasing except in the indie field where they continue to grow. Anyway, that's my spiel. Matt Crotts, spelled C-R-O-T-T-S. C-R-O-T-T-S. It's great stuff. If you're like a history buff like me and you like Roman history, it's a really good book. The colors are beautiful. Story's great. So yeah, I like Matt's stuff a lot. And he's a really great guy to know too. I learned of that poor girl when I passed through Miranda. When I heard that she sent a letter each day but never received any replies, something inside me snapped. As I wrote to that girl, I realized I was very much like her. I was looking behind, full of despair. My eyes were closed, and then something changed. I bumped into Sir Blanca in Miranda. He said he had to become stronger if he was to face Kefka. He probably returned to the Veld. I haven't seen the new CGI, Luke, but I've been ignoring. Is it locked? Oh, there's a little thing up here. Found the key to Hagar's treasure chest. Boom. Why? A child could use this machine. It's a joke. I'll never be afraid of machines again. Found machinery manual and book of secrets. Man, he keeps stealing his gold. How does a bear steal gold? I haven't read Asimov's Foundation series, but the synopsis sounds like a central planner's wet dream. Is this a correct? The story's not. I mean, the story's not that nuanced. It's okay. I haven't read the whole thing. I think I read the first book. I don't know. Didn't they make a series out of it? I don't remember if they made a series out of it or not. I didn't watch the Shenmue anime. I don't have a lot of time to watch shows. She wrote Lovely People. Oh, that's right. I played it, yes. I haven't read it yet. Whoa. Where'd that little guy go off to? Should I go get him? Oh, what did I do? Alright, there he is. Storm Dragon! Ouch. Now weak against poison. got Res Elric here. We'll see if we can blitz suplex this guy. Probably not, because he's off the ground. No. Yeah. Alright. Alright, is that going to kill him? Yeah, let's go life. Do I have life? I mean, I have life on this character. That's interesting. Alright, cure myself. This guy hits hard. Yeah, this rage is gonna kill us. Maybe I can like osmose him and like drain his mana or something. I don't know. No, I think we're wiped out here. I have a... Oh, that didn't do what I thought. I clicked the wrong one. I needed an elixir. Can't run away. All right. Doesn't matter. We're wiped out. Gotta remember to save when I see the save point, you know? I think we have to do all that again. I'm really sorry. Hello from Indonesia. Hello to you too. Across the bridge. Is a Kyrie book like Assassin's Creed? Not really. It's like a heist book, but like in Roman times, which I think is fun. Brian, I mean Brian! Let's go. Let's use a tent. He looked like Elric. There we go. I'm gonna try it. Rage! Want to use here. See if I can hit him with the drill. Any more info on your visual novel? I haven't started it yet. Well, here's what I thought might be fun. I thought it might be fun to because I got one of these programs that comes with a bunch of stock assets. I thought it might be really fun to actually like make a story with it live, because it's like it only has assets for like a dating sim that are like the stock assets. So it might be really fun to just like do it on stream, and we could come up with like a really wacky kind of story with that, like Doki Doki Literature Club or something, you know. Thanks for linking the pamphlet. Why am I not surprised that John Scalzi looks the way he looks? Physiognomy, man, it's real. Drill this guy. I read a book by Asimov called Isaac Asimov's Treasury of Humor. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of educational stuff that he, I don't know, that he did or I don't know, tried to do. Not sure what the words I'm looking for here. Like he wanted kids to have science education, and honestly, that's how a lot of the sci-fi fandom kind of viewed what science fiction should be. Is it should be like basically technical manuals. Keep killing this guy. This is like bad luck. You thinking of a linear visual novel or multipath ending? I don't know. I have a couple ideas. We'll probably do one that's really simple to start. You know? He's gonna die again. Well, that's no good. Well, let's get him up. Ah! God, that's frustrating. I'll probably do something simple just to like get a product out. The visual novel maker software, you can deploy it. You can deploy it with what am I looking for? HTML5. So I could deploy it on a website just as like a free thing. Good Lord. Oh my gosh. This is brutal. Yeah, if you get just a little bit behind here, you pretty much can't do anything. So we'll have to reload the save. Recently read Tolkien's on Fairies. He makes a distinction between drama and literature very interesting. Nowadays, many popular books try and copy movies, so literature is lost. Yeah, I mean, they're different formats, but Brian Niemeyer called them head movies or something. Which is like, oh, well, you really are imagining a movie in your head. And so you write it as a book rather than writing a book. Because books do things differently. All right, I'm going to try to get this dragon down. I'm starting to run out of time for the day. I wonder if there's like anything we could equip that makes it easy. You know? Like, there's no status. Like, he's not doing any bad status stuff. Mass float. Put the beads on. I'll try that. Let me try the chainsaw real quick. Oh yeah, chainsaw hit, sweet. Haste on. He's gonna be like our main damage dealer here. Let's do Cure 2 on everybody. Tools, chainsaw. See if I can slow this guy. Do Cure 2 again. Magic. Do it twice. Chainsaw. Do it again. I missed. See, the drill doesn't miss. So, you factor in like the possibility that it misses, like the drill might be better. Here we go. Yeah, we gotta cure ourselves here. Yeah, we're gonna need to do heal everybody up. Try chainsaw again. Regen on. I think everybody's topped off, so they didn't really do anything. go. Fire dance. Can't stick around today. Well, have fun, C-Dub. Have a good rest of your day. Permanent internships. I like that. You'll be an intern forever. Aura Bolt's hitting a little harder here. And the Storm Dragon is something else here. Luckily that Storm Shield protects at least one party member here. Higher Ed promotes the whole idea we should do student loan bailouts rather than lowering the price of college. I mean, the price of college is high because of loans. It's like, it's basically like concentrated, unlimited money supply in one tiny area of the economy. Oh no, man, we ended up behind. Dang it. Get him topped off. Keep doing damage. Haste. I think he's like in a phase where he's like doing more damage too. This arrow. Arrowed! Arrowed! him with the drill. Erode. He's out of. He is out of MP. Man, it just keeps getting harder and harder to do this. There we go! Got him! It sounds like a base, yeah, but I think it was probably programmed in. Nobuo Uematsu probably programmed it in. Chandler and Bolt 2. Got a Force Armor. 7 dragons left. Alright. Wonder what the Force Armor does. It's probably pretty good here. On the Force Armor. Ah, come on. Suplex. All right. Use a tent. And we'll save the game here. Almost out of time. Alright, we'll go through, we'll do the cutscenes, I think. Is this the way to the cutscenes, or am I going the right way? I don't remember. If I forget, then forgive me. You get turned around in these little maps here. Well, that kills him quick, huh? Oh, we almost got X-Zone! And stop. Alright. We'll do this. We'll trigger this cutscene. Yeah, the thing about slimming down the bureaucracy is the one who controls it, so they'll never slim down themselves. They're in control of the institutions, and they'll never fire themselves. The world before the fall, delightful, right? So it's not going to happen unless it's like from some sort of just collapse outside of it. So yeah, the cost of education has gone up by like tenfold. Teacher salaries have dropped. And the administrative salaries have gone up by like 20-fold. You know, Janet Napolitano gets paid like $1 million a year to not do anything, to like just sit around. It's what it is, dude. It's just how it is. And the deeper you go, the more like rotten the entire operation starts to become. You start to realize that like the entire thing is built on like a bed of lies. I learned of that poor girl when I passed through Miranda. Alright, yeah, almost time to peace out here. Probably return to the belt. Let's go get the key. We live in a society. We live in a society where a child could use this machine. Machinery Manual and Book of Secrets. Ursus and the Scrapper. Huge numbers of wealthy foreign students, yeah. They pay, when I was a student, they paid like, double the tuition of everybody else. Maybe triple, actually. Out-of-state tuition was huge. You want out-of-staters because you can like quadruple the cost of their tuition. They get a lot of money from taxpayers as well. I don't want to forget that. Like taxpayers foot the bill for colleges in a big way. Sigma learned Rasp. Let's save our game here. And we will... How much should writers care about awards? I don't think they should care at all at this point. There's no awards worth winning. Like what? You're gonna win a Hugo? You're not the right color. You have the wrong physical arrangement to win a Hugo. You didn't write a communist manifesto in the form of a romance novel pretending to be a sci-fi novel. You're not winning a Hugo. Like, I don't know what there is worth winning anymore. Like, I've paid so little attention to it because I looked at the winners, and like so many of the winners for like 10 years now are bad. It's and you're not going to win the prize. You know, you're not going to win an award because they're not awarded for quality. They're not awarded for success. They're not awarded for any of that. Anyway, I think I'm out of time for today. It's 2:55, so I'm probably going to call it there. We will save the state, and that's that. I do appreciate everybody's time and attention. Newest book is called Smoke and Shadow. I will link it again. It comes out next Friday, and the physical edition will come out a couple days before that so that all the shipping will line up. Be aware that like shipping doesn't always line up all that well now because of delays and things like that. So it's what it is. You may, if you get the paperback, it may come a couple days after the 18th. And I'm going to have to wait for my wife's copy or whatever. So anyway, there's the book cover. It's fun. It's the conclusion of this trilogy involving these characters, and then I'll have some other stories with them afterwards. But it's a really good resting point. The main conflict that I started in the first book is pretty much resolved by the end of this book. Okay, so you will hopefully get a good, satisfying conclusion out of it and enjoy what I did there. I might do a video on like how I designed this cover because of the elements that are in it and all the colors and things like that, and the way that maybe I approach color when I do a cover. You notice this cover is mainly like blue and yellow, and that's pretty much by design. So anyway, guys, I appreciate it. I hope you guys will have a good rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for the super chats for Mike, and thanks for stopping by, everybody. Adrian, send me a tell on Twitter if you're still here, and we'll go get lunch or something tomorrow. So take it easy, guys, and I will see you all next time.